These are the logs of the Starship Tesla. Please visit us at patreon.com/Aureaditry. Episode 4. Personal Log 218.2.10-1. First proper assignment coming up this morning. Not that the previous 2 days haven't been properly dull. Deadly dull. Well, if they were deadly, that would have been a touch exciting. Like touching a certain... Too early for that. That's quadruple zero talk. Here's what I figured out. Problem with refined engineering is that it works. And when it works and nothing's balked, a systems expert assigned to an unbalked system is simply an unflattering mannequin for AS uniforms. Well, some of us at least. I'll let you ponder what that means. Last 2 days were mainly spent at the bow monitoring throughput levels of the GCCCs while forward deflectors did their thing. Not a novel duo of shifts. I just had to take over from the unfortunate expert before me, and now I've passed it on to the next poor clanker. Sorry, Tanith. Shakedown means that until we fire up the neg egg, the bow array needs to be monitored constantly while at ID speeds until signed off by the head EDO and Chief Engineer Hewliston. We call him Hall Station, because if he needed to, he could. Anyway, not one impact detected on the shield meant not a single spike over my shifts, not even a micro fluctuation of flow rates, didn't even wobble between tolerances. Precision down to infinite recurrence. Shit, I even went to logistics to switch out my tools in case the sensors had frozen. Nope, only my perception of time. Can't wait to hit FTL. Whew. Heliosphere wasn't all bad though. Gave me plenty of time to look out the viewports. It became a hunt to look out for a sparkle. Tanith told me to keep an eye out for them. She called them collision vortices. Bit bland, but scientific. I like to think I straddled that line amongst other... Almost got myself again there. To me they were spectral tears, these rips where hidden dimensions flash into our human perception. Our realm before buggering off to somewhere better, beyond. It's far too early for poetry. As she said it, those yellow-red bursts were crashes of magnetic fields and solar winds and stellar media all occluding one another, mostly invisible except for those magical sparks. Magic. Then I flipped through the spectral filters in the viewport and all sorts of colors and ribbons and hallucinatory kaleidoscopes, like the ones in the museum back home. They were weaving about, and I was cycling wavelengths, destroying magic. That's what we're about, though. Destroying magic. And that's pretty magical, too. Shit, crept in there again, didn't it? Reminded me of the Aurora's Earthside. You see pictures all your life, gorgeous green strands of gases. Then you get there, standing in the shit cold, and you stare right at them. And what do you get? Some milky blur like the moon leaked. If you're lucky, you get a hint of a hue that's not some kid's misery of a breakfast. I preferred the tears in the black, the thrill of the hunt, knowing and unknown side by side. I like to think that's what the Tesla's about. Can think of another Tesla I'd like to be side by side with. I wonder where in space she is now. Speaking of, I let Tanith win at Action Tennis last night. Hey, this is my log. I don't need to tell you she smashed me much the same as most of her balls. Junior champion back home. Can you believe that? She hustled me. Spent far too many hours afterwards in the mess playing AR board games. We even got Tanith's friend, an FR, and some unknown ensign and junior lieutenant to join us. The LT was a good woman. The ensign, well, he took it all a bit too seriously. We had to chuck him out the airlock. What a toaster. Some games are classics. Don't think I'll be seeing Tanith for 2 days, though. I should make the most of that by putting an exceptionally large recurring number on her bunk's door. What a bunch of eyewash, though. We're supposed to talk about what's happening in, pretty much now. As the destination display reads, Ort Cloud. It gets fancy with coordinates after that, but that's not my wheelhouse. That's some fine classic ship idiom right there. I hope you appreciate that. LT has a mandate from Captain Tyquin to trial the Water Integration Processor, the WIP. Scientists, I tell you. We're going to whip it well, because we're not bringing morality. Until we find some wretched alien out there. But until then, and anachronistic references aside, I'm going to be suited up and supervising the thermal wrapping of ice, of an ice, lump? Probably an acronym for it somewhere. We're going to bring it in through the boat bay proper. Chief originally wanted to stabilize it with a local ID generator, but they seem to have run into problems disassociating the blanket from the ice calculations. Gave them a reason anyway to test out the claw, so that's what we're going to use to hold it in place. Makes my task harder, as I have to cut and plug the material around the grip. Heat, glue, and a vacuum. My kind of day. From there we'll melt it, suck it, send it to filtration, space some perfectly good water from a perfectly balanced system, and all be sipping cocktails from ancient H2O tonight. Then pissing it out. And drinking it again. Humans. Strange creatures. I've got a date with some hot glue. End log. Personal log 218.2.10-2. This is personal, but it's at work. This poor database specialist. Busy suiting up, thinking back to my previous logs. Sometimes I can sound a bit dispassionate about being here. Heading to AC for the first time in my life, going to places where only probes and waves and optics and radiation have been. It's pretty special. Nowhere else I'd rather be. Mushy gushy, Martin. Mushy gushy. Now fuck off. I've got ice to melt. End log. The Logs of the Starship Tesla is an Aureaditry production and was written and performed by CMF Eisenstein and brought to you by our generous patrons on Patreon. If you enjoyed this original content, please consider subscribing or following on your preferred platform. Alerts, the thumbing of things, and comments are welcome. To do all of this, please proceed to your nearest Starship Tesla terminal today.